listen closely. There is something almost ironic about human connection. The harder you try to keep a conversation alive, the faster it collapses. You walk in, you smile, you say the safe line, "Hey, how are you?" And within seconds, the energy fades. The moment is gone. Yet in that same space, someone else speaks only a few words. No performance, no clever lines, no effort to impress. And suddenly, people lean in. Not because that person is louder, funnier, or more attractive, but because when they speak, their words carry weight. Today, I want to show you why. Not with social tricks, not with manipulation, but with something far deeper. A Stoic understanding that most people overlook. Presence will always beat performance. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. Attraction is not about talking more, it is about saying less and meaning every word. What you are about to hear are not phrases to memorize, they are reflections of character. And once you embody them, you will feel the shift immediately in how people respond to you. Let us begin. The first phrase is simple. Tell me more about that. Just a few words, yet they open doors most people never notice. When someone shares something personal, most listeners do the same thing. They turn it into a competition. "Oh yeah, that happened to me too. Here's what you should do." Without realizing it, the spotlight snaps back to their own ego. But when you say, "Tell me more about that," and then you stop talking, something rare happens. The other person feels truly seen. People do not remember you because you were interesting. They remember you because they felt interesting in your presence. The second phrase is only 3 words, yet it instantly separates confidence from insecurity. I don't know. Almost no one has the courage to say this calmly. When someone asks a question you cannot answer, the instinct is to pretend, to sound intelligent, to give a vague response that could mean anything. But pretense always leaks. People sense it, and trust quietly drops. Now imagine someone who simply says, "I don't know." No apology, no excuses, no defensiveness. This is not weakness, this is clarity. Socrates was famous for this wisdom, knowing the limits of your knowledge. Because real knowledge begins where arrogance ends. And strangely enough, the moment you stop pretending, people start listening more closely to what you do say. The third phrase changes everything in emotional conversations. That sounds hard. When someone shares pain, stress at work, a breakup, a failure, most people rush to fix it. "You should do this." When that happened to me, they mean well, but it often feels like judgment, like the pain is being minimized. Instead, say, "That sounds hard." You are not solving the problem. You are not correcting them. You are acknowledging their experience. Stoic strength is not coldness. It is control. It is being gentle without becoming weak. When you validate someone's struggle, you give them something powerful, a safe place to breathe. The fourth is where most people fail because they are afraid of it. Silence. Yes, silence. The moment a conversation pauses, many people panic. They rush to fill the space. Nervous words, unnecessary stories, forced laughter. They think silence means failure, but silence is strength. Watch someone who is comfortable with silence. They speak less, they pause, they don't rush. And when they finally speak, people listen because their silence signals that what comes next matters. The Stoics understood this deeply. When you stop running from silence, you stop running from yourself. The fifth phrase goes deeper than gratitude. I appreciate you. Thank you can feel transactional. You did something for me. You completed a task. But I appreciate you speaks to the person, not the action. It says, I see your character, your consistency, your presence. Use it sparingly, only when it's genuine. Because in a world obsessed with productivity, recognizing humanity is rare. The sixth and final word is the hardest and the most freeing. No. People will ask for your time, your energy, your attention. Many say yes out of guilt, out of habit, out of fear of disappointing others. But every time you say yes to what doesn't matter, you quietly say no to what does. Your peace, your focus, your growth. Watch someone who has learned to say no. They pause. They consider. And if the answer is no, they say it calmly. No apology, no long explanation, because when your no is real, your yes becomes powerful. Boundaries don't push the right people away, they reveal who belongs. All 6 of these work for one reason. They are not performance, they are presence. Be curious enough to listen, humble enough to admit you don't know, gentle enough to validate, calm enough to sit in silence, aware enough to recognize others, strong enough to protect your time. Attraction is not about adding more, it's about removing what is unnecessary, the noise, the need to impress, the fear of rejection. The moment you stop performing, people stop watching your act and start noticing who you truly are. If this changed how you see communication, stay with this channel. Subscribe and keep building calm presence and self-mastery one day at a time. Now choose one, just one, to practice in the next 24 hours. Tell me more about that. I don't know. That sounds hard. Silence. I appreciate you. Or no. Practice it and watch how the world responds when your words finally carry weight.